undeniable. There is a reason this moment feels marked, as if time itself has shifted slightly around you, as if you have stepped into a threshold that was always waiting for your arrival. You may not have language for it yet, but your body knows, your emotions know, your inner world is responding to something real. Perhaps you have felt sudden waves rising from within you without warning, a heaviness or expansion in your chest, or a longing that seems to stretch beyond anything you can logically trace. There may even be an urge to withdraw, to step away from everything external, just to understand what is happening inside you. This is not confusion, and it is not something breaking down. It is something opening, yet it feels incredibly real, almost as if your chest is holding something too vast to contain. At times, it may feel like expansion, at other times, like weight, and sometimes like both at once, creating a sensation that is difficult to describe, but impossible to ignore. You may have found yourself trying to distract from it, to return to what once felt normal, but something inside you refuses to settle back into that old state. This is because what you are experiencing is not meant to be suppressed or escaped. This pressure is the result of energetic movement, of something within your heart space beginning to open and expand beyond its previous limits. Your heart is not just a center of emotion. It is a gateway, a bridge between your inner reality and a much larger field of awareness that you are now beginning to access. As this gateway opens, layers that have been held within you for a long time begin to rise to the surface. These are not random feelings. They are memories, emotions, and truths that were never fully processed or expressed, now asking for your attention. You do not need to force them away or solve them all at once. The simple act of acknowledging them, of allowing them to exist without resistance, is already part of the transformation taking place within you. You may have noticed how suddenly these emotions arrive, how they do not follow a predictable pattern or a logical sequence. One moment, everything feels steady, and the next, a wave rises from within you, carrying with it feelings, memories, or sensations that seem to appear out of nowhere. It can feel disorienting, even overwhelming at times, as if you are being pulled into something you did not consciously choose. But this is not instability, and it is not something going wrong within you. These waves are part of a release process, a movement of energy that is finally finding its way through you instead of remaining trapped beneath the surface. Each wave carries something with it, an old emotion, a forgotten memory, a piece of your inner truth that was once set aside. Now, as your heart space opens, these fragments are returning, not to overwhelm you, but to be acknowledged and integrated. There is a purpose to the timing of each wave, even if it does not make sense in the moment. You are being asked to feel without immediately trying to control or analyze, to allow the experience to move through you, rather than resisting it. In doing so, you begin to understand that your emotions are not obstacles, but messages, and your heart is teaching you how to listen in a way you may never have before. Alongside these emotional waves, there is often a strong and almost instinctive urge to withdraw from certain environments, conversations, or even people. It may feel sudden, as if something within you has shifted its tolerance overnight, making things that once felt manageable now feel overwhelming or misaligned. This is not you becoming distant or disconnected. It is you becoming aware. As your energy field shifts, your sensitivity increases, and with that sensitivity comes a clearer perception of what supports your inner balance and what disrupts it. You begin to notice how certain interactions leave you feeling drained, how certain spaces feel heavier than before, and how your inner peace becomes something you are no longer willing to compromise. This is not avoidance, but protection. Your heart space, as it activates, begins to establish boundaries that are rooted not in fear, but in clarity. You start to recognize what resonates with your evolving frequency and what does not, and this awareness naturally guides you to step back from what no longer aligns. It is not that the world around you has changed, it is that your relationship to it has transformed, and with that transformation comes a deeper understanding of what you truly need. At the same time, there is a softer, more vulnerable layer of this experience that may be surfacing within you, one that feels like a deep and almost unexplainable longing for comfort. This is not a surface-level desire for distraction or temporary relief, but something much more profound, something that touches the core of your emotional being. You may find yourself drawn to quiet, familiar, or nurturing environments, or feeling a need to slow down and simply be with yourself in a way you may not have allowed before. This is not weakness, nor is it regression. It is a form of reconnection. As your heart space opens, it begins to reconnect you with parts of yourself that may have been overlooked or suppressed, parts that learned to function without the care and attention they truly needed. These aspects of you are not returning to disrupt your life, but to be acknowledged and integrated into your present awareness. The desire for comfort is an invitation to offer yourself the presence and understanding that may have been missing before. It is a reminder that strength is not found in constant endurance, but in the ability to soften and allow yourself to feel supported from within. Beneath everything you are experiencing, there is a deeper structural shift taking place, one that is quietly but powerfully reshaping the way you relate to yourself and to others. Old emotional patterns that once felt automatic are beginning to lose their hold on you. These patterns may have included overextending yourself, suppressing your needs, staying silent to maintain peace, or holding on to situations long after they stopped serving you. At one time, these responses may have been necessary, helping you navigate circumstances where adaptation was required. But now, something within you recognizes that these patterns no longer align with who you are becoming. You may notice that repeating them feels heavier than before, that what once felt familiar now feels draining or even uncomfortable. This is not because something is wrong, but because something is evolving. Your heart space is no longer willing to carry what does not belong to your future. The tension you feel is the space between your old conditioning and your emerging awareness, a space where transformation is actively taking place. As these patterns collapse, they create room for new ways of being to emerge, ways that are more aligned with your truth. There is a moment within this process that arrives quietly, almost unexpectedly, where you begin to see yourself from a different perspective. It is not a dramatic realization, but a subtle clarity that settles within you. You start to notice that your reactions are shifting, that your awareness is expanding, and that your sense of self is no longer anchored in the same patterns as before. What once felt confusing begins to make a different kind of sense, not through logic, but through a deeper inner knowing. You recognize that what you are experiencing is not random or chaotic, but part of a larger transformation unfolding within you.